right, good evening. It is 6 p.m. on Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. And I call the DeKalb Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Absolutely. Trustee King,
President.
trustee Bradlow,
Here.
trustee Thurman, trustee McNutt, and supervisor Hess.
Here.
Also present are Commissioner Smith and Assessor Dyer.
We could stand for the pledge, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very important on today's date.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. It's the flag against it.
It is. No, not.
Okay, so item number C, approval of the agenda. Does anyone wish to make any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The agenda is as it's set. No presentations this month, but there will be one next month from the auditor. Warning you now. No one here from the public for public comment, so going into reports. I have a few things to share. And each of your spots is our fall newsletter. And so it's just kind of a recap of the events that we've done in the past, changes we've made to programs. To, just kind of highlight some of the things that we've worked hard on over the last 3 years. In
This is our first one?
Supervisor's office. No, this is probably the third or fourth.
Oh, this wasn't as thick.
Yeah, this one's thicker.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember.
We have a lot of events coming up, so I wanted it to share the upcoming events. Last month, Casey and Erica attended the Metro Township Association G8 training. Today, Casey's at University Village. There's a big event there, a scavenger hunt activity, which is acquainting whoever shows up for it with community resources. They're doing it in kind of a fun way. And then also related to general assistance, Goodwill had recently put out a application for not-for-profits and anybody in kind of the human service category to apply for gift cards from Goodwill. So we applied and we were selected. So we received 10 $25 gift cards, but we only get 10 and they have to last us the rest of the year. So our job coach knows about them. Obviously our caseworkers do. And so if someone is working with Danita and needs to go get interview clothes, we can help them out by giving them one of these gift cards to get clothes. Or whatever, the fire victims maybe could have used it for household goods. So we have plenty of uses for it. Cemetery updates. Last week, Joan and I finalized all the data entry for Oakwood from our historic record books, the map, notes that were made on the map, and then from more recent burials that we have records of. Also, at the end of August, the rotating project was completed. So if you have a chance, please take a ride over to Oakwood Cemetery and see how that turned out. It's nice and smooth and level, and it just really improves the look of the cemetery. And then the next step will be to do a fog code application, perhaps sometime in the fall, to just, would it say cement?
Feeling.
Yeah. And then the fog coat will it's dark, and so then it'll look like asphalt. And also about that same time, Stonehuggers was here to perform the annual restoration. So they worked both at Evergreen and Oakwood. Upcoming events. Tomorrow we have the final IPAS event for 2024. Again, all of our appointments are booked. We have a waiting list, so that is happening from 1 until 7, trying to accommodate people that, work until 5 o'clock. So that was a request made by a resident, so we worked with iPass to make that happen. On the 26th, we'll be set up at Barb Food Mart with a table of township information to try to help residents understand our services. And then on the 28th, we have a shred event at the YMCA from 9 to 11. And we welcome any of you who can be there to help with that. And then last but not least, congratulations to the Husky football win. Any questions on any of that?
This is September 28th. There's so both of those are the same event, the September, that's it.
Yes, the county's having their events the same day as ours. We didn't put ours in this QR code. These are other happenings in the community.
Oh, okay, so, but the one recycling event is the 28th?
Shred event.
Shred event is the 28th.
9 to 11 at the YMCA. And that will be with Sycamore Township again. And I have reached out to DeKalb High School, trying to recruit student volunteers. So hopefully that will work out. Clerk's report?
Yeah, so we are well on our way into election circulation season. We're getting signatures and all of that stuff. I officially got November 12th or 18th off my main job, so I will be here on those days from 8 AM to 5 PM, which we should work out because I know that the building normally opens at 8:30 and closes at 4:30, but legally I do have to be there explicitly from 8 AM to 5 PM. So either I have to learn to close the building or we'll figure that out, I'm sure.
We're here from 7 to 5, so it should
Oh.
be huge.
Perfect, awesome, thank you. Other than that, again, let me know if you have any questions. My sign is always on the door for people to contact me if they have any questions related to elections. But
On that Friday, I can come in early. Not a big deal.
thank you.
I would just encourage you maybe to recheck that. I thought it's just on the very last day that we have to be open till 5 PM. That
Okay,
all the days before that, we can have regular hours, but we're required to be open,
on the last day.
you be available until 5 PM on the last day.
Okay,
I just maybe there, I thought that's what I remember them saying in that training.
I can go over it again, so
Yeah, okay.
definitely on the last day.
Anything else? Highway Commissioner?
I do wanna announce Paul Mallett, that is the Mayfield Highway Commissioner just to our north. Paul retires at his October board meeting that next month. Paul has been the Highway Commissioner of Mayfield Township since October of 1969. 55 years he has put in, so I would like to congratulate him. I'm gonna get a card and sign it from the board and everybody, and I will be attending that retirement party. We're still working on the building out back, the building storage or the equipment storage building, so I have a variance meeting or to go to a variance because we are too close to the property line in the back, so on October 7th. Don't really see an issue with it right now, but never can tell. And then our flag, I know, is looking a little tethered out in front. The pulley is broke up on the very top, so I can't get it down. And I've about used up all my boom truck favors, so I'm probably gonna rent a lift and that's probably gonna wait until next week. But with that, we're just plugging away. Most of the road projects for the summer are done. And things of that nature. I did extend Nate Smith until the end of the year. He is going to Kishwaukee College this semester, so between leaf pickup and then he'll also be doing sidewalk snow removal if needed and things of that nature. And Nate's just been a really good worker for me, so that's it for me.
Oh, any questions? Sasha?
The only thing I got is we're continuing the last of our work for this year to get turned in before publication date. Our deadline to get any changes before publication to the county is the 16th. So we're just doing our final wrap ups of any possible new construction or anything like that to get over to the county before publication.
Trustees reports, trustee McNabb,
No report.
trustee Thurman,
No report.
trustee Bradlow,
No report.
trustee King.
Only that the students are back and they're happy and they're winning. So, I think that's it.
We're all happy that they're winning. Build up my Facebook feed.
Well, and the town is benefiting, right? Because they're spending money, so everybody wins now when the students come, so.
With that, unfortunately, I have to excuse myself
Indeed,
to
sir.
prior commitment.
Enjoy.
Have a good night. I'm gonna do my best.
All right, moving on to bill paying. May I get a motion to approve the August audit reports in the amount of $250,694.96. And the September bills to pay in the amount of $134,175.98.
So moved.
One second.
Discussion? No questions? All right, roll call please.
Trustee McNutt. Aye. Trustee Thurman,
Yes.
trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee King,
Aye.
supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays.
Next, can I get a motion to receive, file, and approve the treasurer's August budget reports?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Questions about anything in there? Hearing none, roll call please.
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee Thurman,
Yes.
trustee King,
Aye.
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
and supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, it passes.
All right. No unfinished business, so new business, item A is approval of funds for continued support of DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation. I have these backwards in your packet, so that's actually on page 56. It's just a copy of the contribution form. And I went through our QuickBooks that takes me back to 2013. Where that's as far back as I could see that we have been a contributing member. For 6 years, we contributed 2,500, for 4 years, 2,750, and then last year was 3,000. I do go to the meetings, that, get to hear about incoming development. They have had a change in the leadership. Mark Williams is no longer with DCEDC. And there's a new female who they hired to be the executive director, who's not originally from this area. She's from Chicago, and I can't remember her name. So there's change in leadership coming. So just looking for approval to offer financial support to DCEDC again this year, as we have in the past. Any thoughts, comments?
She's from Chicago, you don't remember her name? I'm from Chicago, and she's a woman,
I know,
that's not.
I read the
that's not-
email.
that's Leadership, so.
yeah.
And you proposing, last year 2700?
Last year was 3,000.
3,000.
And so that's what I would request that we contribute again this year. So,
Fine with it.
so I'm gonna make a motion that we approve funds for continued support to DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation in the amount of $3,000.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee Thurman. Aye. Trustee McNutt.
Yes.
Trustee King,
Aye.
and supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes and 0 nays, it passes.
Okay. And then backing up to page 53 is item B of new business. So can I get a motion to bring forward a discussion on South Fourth Street proposed tax increment financing plan?
I'm hoping that we discuss the Fourth Street proposed tax increment.
Okay.
Second.
So I put this in your packet last month. The city has moved forward and had the initial hearing on the TIP proposal. And page 54 highlights what the schedule of events will be. There is a joint review board meeting coming up at the end of the month. And so it was requested that as a taxing body, we have a discussion about this proposed TIF district. Just so that when I and perhaps Craig go to the joint review board meeting, we kind of have a idea of if the township will be, and the road district will be in support of the TIF. So as I explained last time, it begins or ends right at the tollway and goes to Taylor Street. So all of 4th Street, and then there's portions to the east and the west. It's a total of 234 lots. That's a mix of residential, commercial, public buildings and light industrial. I think this is the first TIF district approval that we'll make as, and you know, us as a board, that there were some in the past with prior boards. Does anyone want me to go over what a TIF district does?
I actually was digging into that a little bit today. What exactly are they trying to do?
So what they do is in all these areas that are highlighted pink, those will be the parcels in the TIF district. They freeze their property value. So what they're paying for property taxes, say in 2025, they freeze that value. And then as long as the TIF goes on and their values or their properties increase in value, rather than we receiving it as a taxing body, it goes into a special fund, this TIF fund, that then anybody located in this TIF district can make a request. There's only certain things you can do with TIF dollars. They make a request for funds from this TIF fund and maybe get a portion of it. And the purpose is for redevelopment of kind of this, they say blighted areas. It can be used by, there'll be residential purposes, there'll be commercial purposes. And then even the taxing bodies who are located in this TIF can get some funds for certain improvements to their properties. So it's what they do to try to encourage economic development.
TIF stands for tax increment financing, so it's.
And I don't remember how many years they said they were gonna try to, typically it's about 23, I think.
I think max is 26 years a TIF district can be in operation. But I don't know. I think TIF 3 is almost out of money. Last time I'd see TIF 1, I think ran the
Yeah, I think that.
the whole thing, but I don't think TIF 2 did.
So the reason that, so all taxing bodies have to be on board for it to be approved, and the effect it has on us is that as those properties in the TIF district increase in value, we're not gonna receive those additional tax dollars because they're gonna be held in a special account.
The benefit is that we're basically lending in our increases to properties that are very low and that pay very little in tax because they're rundown property, basically. So by them using the money to increase the value of the property when it comes out of the TIF, then we get that increase. So instead of dumping it on everyone asking for these increases, we're trying to upgrade the neighborhood that is highlighted in order to make. So when you come out, there's an influx of money coming back towards us.
Yeah,
Do we know how long they're like projected is?
I don't remember.
The state statute, if I remember right, says 26 years is the maximum.
And they weren't going for the max. This was gonna be I wanna say it was less than 15.
And depending on how much money they receive and how much usage there is, but a lot of the areas like South Seventh Street over there where they've got. You know, I call it the old Spalding building, I don't know what it is now. You know, in different areas like that could be very high, you know, in tax with all that's going on out here. Someone could either tear that building down and put up something different. Or rehab it into something that would very much, and I wish Rich would here because he could talk about values and. How that would help, and even this farmland, kitty corner, that's been for sale. Since the 90s, and you know, this kind of thing helps them. To improve that property and make it work more, which benefits all of us, but it's more of a long-term. Thing, but it does help, South Fourth Street. We use some help.
Yeah.
It's a little rough.
So page 55, the group that the city hired to do a study on this, these are the different areas where investments with the tip dollars could be made.
Who did us the money back one year, didn't we?
Yeah,
Right,
and I don't know, I don't know how they're gonna work it this year. If that's gonna be a thing or if it is not.
So any comments or questions, or do you want me to get more information?
How many other, you said all the taxing bodies have to agree, so what's all, how many?
County, school district, park district.
Sanitation.
Sanitation.
All the way down, everything listed on your bill.
Basically, everyone listed on your bill.
Library.
So, and as far as here for improvements, you know, and I don't know, I have a hard time with governmental entities using that money.
Using tip money,
You know,
it's
because
just weird.
there is no. You know, none of the other taxing bodies get anything back for that. I mean, I'd love to use it to redo the bathrooms here or put up my new building, but you know, I think that's a very difficult ask.
Yep.
Yeah,
so by us, if we voted yes on this, it's not voting to use TIF money, it's just to give our approval of the.
Right, and I'm not asking for a vote tonight, but just kind of a general consensus if it would be. You know, something that we. Would be in favor of, and then it will have to come to a formal vote with the resolution down the road.
And was there some questions on prior TIF districts on how the money was spent improperly? Like,
There
is that all
was.
taken care of now?
I know there was
Is
the
it
county called,
narrow again?
the county called for a forensic audit and the audit was done. I think I have a copy of it. I mean, that would have been. Back in like 18, if I'm remembering that, I mean, it was quite a ways ago when they wanted to start TIF
Right.
District 3,
Right.
2 was the one in question, 2 and 1. About using the city using money to pay for
Yeah,
things.
for salaries and stuff, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah, so is that all?
Large, I mean, and you
is
can
that all-
relate
I
it.
don't know.
Yes, I mean,
That's why the joint review.
that's
board
what the
exists
joint
today.
review board is supposed to do, and I do agree with the fact that they have. Increased the amount of meetings, you know, and shared a lot more information with the city manager we have now. I don't know if that was the case prior to his existence. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was not, so,
Probably why there was a problem.
yeah, I mean, I don't agree with, you know, they were paving roads. In residential areas that were,
Not in the tip.
Not in the TIF.
I mean, they were in the TIF district, but. How does that benefit any of the taxing body? You know what I mean? I mean, that was their legal right. To do that, I can see if they wanna fix all the water main and redo 4th Street. But to do 6th and, you know, all these side streets, that I would have issues with, because if they're not gonna allow the residents to increase the value of their property, it does not benefit the schools or us or anyone else, so.
And related to your question about kind of accountability, there is an annual audit done now of the TIF. And that's that's posted on the city's website. It's public information and no red flags have come up.
Do you know who performed the audit? Who performed?
I don't know if they're still using the same auditing company that they did.
I just wanted to make sure it was internal.
It was.
No, it was an external.
Yeah, I mean, I know the forensic audit that was done was like $1 million it cost. And that came directly out of TIF, so.
So that's 1/13 of the money, $1 million.
Yeah, if you go to the city's website, agendas and find the joint review board, you can find the audit in past.
As long as there's those checks now, for the audits and everything.
So head nod, if we would potentially be in favor of it.
When are we deciding?
It won't be until
27. That's when the.
November. Yeah, there'll be probably more information each meeting about it, but. And at this next joint review board meeting at the end of the month, I'm sure I'll get more information, so I'll just keep you, informed of what I learn and.
Sounds good.
I mean, but yeah, and you can see by this chart that like 49.22%. Line item C is building rehabilitation and retrofit. I mean, that's so 50% of the money is going into properties that will increase their, and I mean, this is all under state statute, so they have the ability to do any of this. And TIFs are very common across the state.
Do the residents have a say in whether,
So you have to file like
I
a,
saw that they have, where is it?
There's a public hearing.
Certified mail in the public hearing.
but that's more, you're gonna fall into a TIF district, but if you want, say, new windows or something,
Your sewer
that-
line,
then you have to, I'm sorry,
sewer line,
yeah, then you would have to ask the city.
there'll be an application.
Request an application for a request to do
You
that.
use TIF money for it rather than your own as the homeowner.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's 100%. I
No.
mean, it's not, I mean, it would be like 10 or 25% of the cost. So,
And there is, the state statute very clearly says, what it can be used for. And at one of the JRB meetings, so there's, with the TIF dollars for TIF 3, there's, architecture improvement program. And when Buyers was there, they had requested some funds and they were approved, but then they went out of business. And so I did raise the question, did they get that money back? And the answer was yes.
See, my concern is after the 15 years or whatever, are these people's taxes gonna go way up because the area is nicer now? And they
It'll
didn't,
go up.
and if they didn't necessarily benefit from it. Like a road, they're gonna
Well,
repave roads here and there anyway.
So because each individual property is assessed at its own value. So if you live next door to someone that got all this done to their home, your property taxes are not gonna go up, but theirs are.
Well, yeah,
And your rate of increase, whatever that may be on an annual basis, will still stay the same as everybody that lives there. Because all this does is takes that extra that would generally come to us and go directly to this TIF fund. So, anybody that does say, the old Kentucky Fried Chicken building down here that's sat vacant as long as I can remember. And someone buys it and redoes it. And that's realistically exactly what TIF was originally meant to do. But the next door neighbor or the old car wash that they've kind of, I don't know what they do there now, their taxes won't increase just because that new property. Would like say they would do something, a new Kentucky Fried Chicken building, and it goes from $500,000 value to $1 million value. Neither resident or property on either side of it, their property taxes would not increase because of that.
okay.
I hope I'm making sense there. But,
So. All right, well, I'll in my discussion, I'll mention that we had a discussion about it and that there aren't any issues at this point or concerns. Okay, moving on to item C, approval of minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting of August 14th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved. Second.
Discussion. I would like to address two things that need to be corrected, please. Under my report, that last paragraph, the grant applications were a total of 338,000, not 238. I just want that because when we give out money, I don't want it. I want it to match up. And then on page 59, under other business, the next committee on youth meeting, it said was gonna be at the DeKalb Public Library. It was at DeKalb, here at the time. So. Does anyone else have any corrections? Okay, then all those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye, please. Anyone opposed? Okay, minutes pass. No old business, no executive sessions, so other business. Next week, we have a committee on youth meeting, where we will be reviewing the board applications we received. So that's exciting. That's September 17th, 2024 at 5 p.m. And then we will meet here for our next regular Board of Trustees meeting on October 9th at 6 p.m. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, meeting is adjourned at 6:32.